Now we'll talk about the progesterone breakthrough bleeding from Sperrof tensions. Okay. Here the progesterone breakthrough bleeding occur when the ratio of progesterone to estrogen is unfavorable to high. Unless there is sufficient estrogen to balance its actions, the continuous treatment with exogenous progesterone. Here the dominant hormone is progesterone. Okay. So when there will be a progesterone to estrogen ratio is unfavorable, however, there will be a progesterone breakthrough bleeding. Unless there is a sufficient estrogen to balance its action, the continuous treatment with exogenous progesterone or synthetic progesterone will result in intermittent bleeding of varied duration, that is generally light. Here what happened, the estrogen to progesterone to estrogen ratio will be unfavorably high. Okay. Unless there is sufficient estrogen to balance its action, the continuous treatment with exogenous progesterone. Here are giving progesterone only pill, that is more dose. Synthetic progesterone will result in intermittent bleeding of varying duration, that is generally light, a pattern very similar to lower level of estrogen breakthrough bleeding. The clinical example of progesterone breakthrough bleeding are the bleeding observed in women using the progesterone only contraceptive mini pill or other long-acting progesterone only long-acting progesterone only contraceptive methods such as progesterone implants, depot medroxyprogesterone acetate. The breakthrough bleeding is observed in women using combination of estrogen progesterone contraceptives also. Ocipil, TMPA, Minipil, okay, then long acting progesterone only pill, that is implants also. These 5 examples you have to remember. Progesterone breakthrough bleeding that occur when the ratio of progesterone to estrogen is unfavorably high. Unless there is a sufficient estrogen to balance its action, the continuous treatment with exogenous progesterone or synthetic progestins will result in intermittent bleeding of varying duration, that is generally light pattern, that is very similar to the low level of estrogen breakthrough bleeding. I have a clinical example of progesterone breakthrough bleeding are observed when women using progesterone only pill, progesterone only contraceptive or mini pill or other long acting progesterone only contraceptive method like implants, depot medroxyprogesterone acetate. If it is a mini pill or it is a long acting progesterone only pill, that is implants, depot medroxyprogesterone acetate. Okay. Then the breakthrough bleedings observed in women, the breakthrough bleeding, that is the breakthrough bleedings observed in women using combination of estrogen progesterone contraceptive also is a form of progesterone breakthrough bleeding. Such breakthrough bleeding is more common with contraceptive containing lower steroidal dose, but can be seen with any combination hormonal formulation. Usually, when there will be high progesterone, low estradiol levels, such breakthrough bleeding is more common in contraceptive containing a lower estradiol dose, but can be seen with any combination of hormonal formulation. Although all estrogen, progestin, contraceptive regimen contain pharmacological quantities of both estrogen and progestin, the progestin component is always the dominant hormone and the net effect on the endometrium is profoundly progestational. Remember? Then, okay, so progesterone breakthrough bleeding occurs when the ratio of progesterone, so progesterone has to dominate over estrogen, that is unfavorably high compared to estrogen. Unless there is sufficient estrogen to balance its actions, when they will give a continuous treatment with exogenous progesterone, that it can be a synthetic progesterone, will result in intermittent bleeding of varying durations, that is generally light fat and very similar to the low level of estrogen breakthrough bleeding. The clinical example, you can give a progesterone only pill, that is mini pill, or you can give a long acting progesterone only compounds, that is implants, or it can be a department progesterone, etc. And also this breakthrough bleeding, it can be seen in oral combined ossipils, combination of estrogen progesterone contraceptive also is a form of progesterone breakthrough bleeding. Such breakthrough bleeding is more common when the contraceptive containing a lower dose, so that progesterone will be dominant easily over the lower estrogen dose, but can be seen with any combination of hormonal formulation. Although all estrogen progesterone contraceptive regimen contain pharmacological estrogen, both progesterone, but the progesterone is the component, is always the dominant hormone. The net effect on the endometrium is a profound progestational effect. Okay, so we'll revise all four things. We'll revise first the progesterone withdrawals and progesterone breakthrough. I already told the progesterone withdrawal bleeding is observed when the withdrawal. Okay, progesterone withdrawal bleeding is observed when the treatment with exogenous progesterone or synthetic progesterone is discontinued. The progesterone bleeding occurs when the endometrium has first been primed with estrogen. Either it can be endogenous or exogenous. The amount duration of bleeding can vary widely and generally correlate to the level and duration of previous estrogen stimulated cycle proliferation. Enumerate marginally low level of estrogen level, short interval amenorrhea with scanty with light to scanty or may not occur at all flow. Those with a sustained high level of estrogen, sustained high level of estrogen, sustained and high level of estrogen, long interval of amenorrhea, bleeding will be heavy, somewhat prolonged, but still is self-limited. Between these extremes, the amount of duration bleeding induced by progesterone withdrawal are typically similar to that observed at the end of a normal ovulatory cycles. Okay, remember the normal ovulatory cycles, and you can give a progesterone bleeding. In women receiving cyclic hormone therapy with exogenous estrogen and progesterone, bleeding follow withdrawal progesterone even if estrogen treatment will continue. If you continue estrogen treatment, still progesterone withdrawal bleeding occur. Okay, because and to prevent to delay progesterone delay, so you can give estrogen in 10 to 20 fold more. Then progesterone withdrawal gone, then progesterone breakthrough bleeding occur when the ratio, when breakthrough occur when the excess progesterone and estrogen ratio will be unfavorably high, unless there is sufficient estrogen to balance. There is, if you are giving continuous estrogen treatment with exogenous estrogen or synthetic progesterone, there will be result in intermittent bleeding from varying durations, that is generally light to scant and very similar to low level estrogen breakthrough. The clinical example of progesterone breakthrough bleeding, I already told, if you get a progesterone only pill, that is mini pill, or if you are giving a long acting progesterone compound, that is implants, or you can have a department progesterone estate. The breakthrough bleeding usually also can be observed in combined OC pills that with both estrogen and progesterone contraceptive. Such breakthrough bleeding is more common in the contraceptive contain lower dose of estradiol but can be occur in any formulations. And although all estrogen progesterone contraceptive contain pharmacology contain both estrogen and progesterone compound, but the progesterone is the dominant always in the hormonal component. The net effect on the endometrium is profound pre-gestational. Then estrogen breakthrough, estrogen withdrawal and breakthrough, estrogen withdrawal I already told. So if you after removal of bilateral oophorectomy and then mid follicular phase of the cycle, second one is the cyclical estrogen only hormone therapy in the postmenopausal patient or in a castrated patient on mid-cycle bleeding that can occur due to transient time के लिए for abrupt fall in estrogen level before and after ovulations. Then estrogen breakthrough bleeding, the bleeding, this clinical example, bleeding a different pattern of bleeding that observed in the patient with the breakthrough, that is observed in the breakthrough into chronic anovulation. Here the amount of duration of estrogen breakthrough will vary greatly depending on the amount of estrogen exposure previously on opposite estrogen stimulation that endometrium has received. If you are giving if you already see has received a relative low level of estrogen, low level of chronic estrogen exposure typically result in intermediate scan spotting or staining that is in a light volume but may be prolonged. In contrast, sustained high level of estrogens stimulation commonly results in long intervals of amenorrhea followed by heavy prolonged flow. For heavy prolonged profuse bleed that vary in duration and severe enough to necessitate the emergency care. So simply we remember the estrogen withdrawal bleeding are three causes: bilateral oophorectomy, estrogen only therapy in castrated and postmenopausal women, and mid-cycle bleeding. There is estrogen withdrawal bleeding. The estrogen breakthrough bleeding is the PCOS patients, there is chronic anovulatory patients. Then progesterone withdrawal bleeding. Progesterone withdrawal bleeding has an occur those having taking already endometrial primed estrogen, that is amenorrhea case when we are giving progesterone challenge test. So remember here the progesterone withdrawal bleeding is the progesterone challenge test, that is PCT. The endometrium here already primed with estrogen, or okay, or you can give a combined estrogen progesterone therapy. And then progesterone breakthrough bleeding is the either you can get progesterone only pill or with long acting progesterone only contraceptive method of implants, or long acting departmental progesterone, or it can be a combined oral contraceptive pill bleeding breakthrough bleeding. Okay.